Monitoring in SAP CPI. There are many sections under it. What is the purpose of it? Let's go and discuss that. So there is a new term, message status overview, that has been introduced from last couple of months, though we have not discussed in any of the previous batches. So I'll walk you through on the message status overview. It is more or less bringing the same thing which was there. If you are coming with an PIPO background, we used to have a status overview where we can find the overall statuses of messages, whatever is running in last 1 month, last 1 week, or 1 hour. So we can get how many failed, how many passed, and how many are in progress, or what can be the reason. So all the error statuses that we keep on doing in our day-to-day iFlows, right? We keep on monitoring one message, where it is. What if in a production environment somebody is supporting that particular project, right? And if it is a huge project, thousands of messages coming every hour, then it is very difficult to go one by one. So that is where it is having option now, good feature in CPI that is introduced, message status overview. Message processing. Message processing is about finding the details of a particular message. Manage integration content. I'll go into the details of it. Manage integration content, where we are having the details about our iFlow. What we have to do with iFlow after deployment. I want to change the log status of it. What I want to find out all the details, what is the package, what is the deployment status, that all details I can find out in the, sorry, all details I can find out in the manage integration content. Some of you have already used it, some features, but today it is a deep dive session. We'll go deep into every section of it so that we can understand it. Manage security. This is the section in the monitoring where we have already gone through some of the security concepts, right? Where we get into the details of whether it is a PGP encryption or anything else we want to do, whether we want to store our credentials, users, or we are dealing with the certificates. We are dealing with the SFTP servers where we can maintain our host entries, and most of it are covered under this section. Manage stores, that is all about your data stores, JMS queues, number ranges, which is the holding or temporary holding memory area for SAP CPI or CI, which will give you an option where you can store your data temporarily. You have already done the data store, right? Where we kept the data and then we use the data for further processing from there, or we want to store some variables. That is where the data store will be handy. Logs and locks. So this is majorly for the admin teams, but yes, as a developer also you can work on it as an use it. So it will give you the overall, if there is any issue, the system level logs if you want to check. It is nothing to do with overall monitoring. It is the system level logs first of all, and the logs, right? If multiple people are working on a particular single integration flow or a package where a team is working, if X person is working and Y also just logged in and he started working, then it can be locked because not two person can work simultaneously. So somebody has to release that lock. But at a developer level, you might not have the access to release the lock. So your admin team or your uh, integration architect, they might be having the access and they can do that for you. So we'll go into it, deep dive. So first of all, let's see how the message monitoring status overview looks like. So when we go to this overview on the monitoring, we'll go parallel into the system and check it, the message status overview. So this feature is still rolling out to the tenants. As of now, couple of features are still not available on the tenant that we are using. You can check your respective tenant if you are having that. That feature is here, right? So that is, you can check it in the settings. You can get the tabular view, the table level view we are getting. You can have a pie chart level of view. It's a graphical presentation like a dashboard, overall status. If right the CXO want to have it, you can display it on a dashboard somewhere on a monitor. So you can get an overall view of it. That is one thing not available in the tenant, at least I'm using. It's a trial tenant, but hopefully it is there in the enterprise edition. I'll show you the documentation part of it, what I'm talking. That is one. Second, you can download it as an Excel, right? On a daily basis. Let's say if somebody is monitoring. So it is so this section is more from a production monitoring, where on a daily basis, let's say, so I have selected here past 1 week. So if somebody want to monitor on a daily basis, right? Let's say a support team logs into the system and they have to send a status report for the last day. So they will say select last 24 hours from here. Let's say the morning shift starts at 6 a.m. So whatever in the last 24 hours, that is the scheduled monitoring time, and they will find out how many are in failed status, are errored out, and they will send a report to the team who's going to work on it or who are going to raise a ticket for it. This is a daily status level. But yes, in the high visibility or a critical scenarios, it would be monitored hourly basis, or every 2 hours, 3 hours, depends upon the project, where somebody will go and check this and get to know specifically what is failed, right? Completed, nobody's bothered about it, it is working fine. If something is getting failed, then it should be checked in a on a regular basis, right? Though we might be getting the alerts every iFlow that we build, we set up the exception handling, we set up the alert mechanism, but you cannot just rely on alerts, right? Although it is same thing, right? Somebody monitoring the emails or somebody looking into the system. So it depends how you want to do it, how your support teams want to do it. So even if you're getting the emails, right? Email can be monitored by any known technical person also. But if somebody from integration team is monitoring, basis team is monitoring, they will start getting the knowledge about it, or they already have the expert who's going to fix it. So at a first level itself, they can get into the failed message and check it. If you are monitoring on an hourly basis, where you might not be getting something like this 40 failed or 19 failed. So it is more of hourly basis, whatever is failing, then you are doing a preliminary check on that, or proactively you start finding the solution. But yes, in a production environment, it doesn't work like that. In production, it is the SLA, service level agreements, that are there, which means that once a issue is reported, it is going to be assigned to a team, whether it is some tool, ServiceNow, or some other tool they might be using. They will report that, okay, for data store, this message has failed. And then the service team, whoever is having the access to that tool, admin, they will assign it to the person depending upon the type of error. So it can be, let's say it's giving an error, mapping error. So mapping error definitely should go to the technical team, the CPI team. If it is saying, let's say you're using a OData service of S4 HANA or success factor, if it is throwing an error that okay, the function, the business function, or let's say the material group is not available for a particular material, then although the error is happening in CPI, but CPI team cannot go and create a material group in the S4 HANA system. So the service team in a bigger project, they know what is the error and all. But unfortunately, most of the errors, if it is failing in integration layer, it will come to CPI team first, right? Because it takes some time for that team to be that team to understand where the what is the error, right? But it is okay. Then once it is assigned to the CPI team, they can pass it to the looking at the error. Okay, this is looking like a person error, right? The functional error, and they can reroute to that person. So they will fix it, and then the scenario will be running again. So coming to the option, what I was telling you is missing. Let's log into the system, but I'll show you. I opened the help guide for this one. I hope it is available here. Yeah. So this is a new feature. So as I mentioned, it is still rolling out to some of the tenants. So if you have it, you can check it in your tenant. If not, it will be soon released to your tenant. So
Uh,
this is one feature which is still
Rahul, one
not
question.
available.
Is it possible
Yes.
to export, Rahul? You mentioned something export of that
Yeah, yeah, I'm
message
coming.
set.
Let me
Oh,
complete. Let me complete. So this is the one option that I was talking. So we are getting only these two options as of now. Okay, refresh and the settings. But there are three, four more options that you can check it out. One is the whether you want to look it into tabular format or the pie chart format or a bar graph. So that is the representation of it, where you just click it and you find that view. Another option is the Excel export, so that on a daily basis you can export it into an Excel, send it as attachment, so that any XYZ person, nobody has to log in to the CPI system and they are getting their error report by email on a daily basis. So that is a compliance purpose, right? Whatever you are having an error should be reported on time. So that way it is very good. But when we were not having this option, so this is basically an influencing request raised by many customer basis that SAP has delivered this. But earlier, at least last 10 years, we are using CPI, so it was not there. So it is good to have, definitely. And on top of it, now we will go and deep dive into it. Let me log into the system quickly. Yeah,
but
any
I
query
don't see the
on?
option actually myself
Huh,
from my
it is
client
okay.
account.
It is okay. It will be released. If not this one, next release, you will be getting it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, thank you.
It is nothing that you and me can go and ask SAP that okay, it is not there in the trial account. Definitely, they will bring it. It is a like a subscription, and they will keep on releasing, right? In which area, which tenant, or which data center. So it will be released feature. Okay. Okay. I hope you are paying attention to these news and announcements also, right? So it keep on giving. Let's say today also, it is giving couple of improvement on the monitoring also. A new migration pattern, content based routing pattern is introduced. So this is where they keep on telling the uh, keep on telling us that okay, this is something new released by in the monthly update or the quarterly update. So even I have to check what it is. Okay, manage parent directory entries. Okay, this is also something new that is coming up. So probably if not now, in the coming up training batches we can cover. And if something new that we are covering, definitely we will try to bring it on the YouTube channel. You can go and check it, and we will keep you updated in the community also. So coming to the monitoring section here. Okay, so we were talking about the message status overview. So this tab is recently introduced where though I log in the morning, so I don't have anything for the past 1 hour. So here I was talking about couple of views, which as per the help documentation, it should be there. But as of current release, it is not there in my tenant, but it would be rolled out, okay, soon. And I hope in the enterprise, it is definitely there. We can check it out in the enterprise one. So the one feature that I was talking is the view of it, whether you want to check it in the tabular format, pie chart format, or the bar chart. And second is the download option, where you can simply click on it and download. So let's see for past 1 week in our training, whatever we have covered. So, so how many messages we have done at an overall level, if I'm monitoring it, right? All the artifacts, 126 messages went through, 33 failed, completed, and rest of it, like 27, this, data store is failed this many time. So here you can get a, though I was expecting one feature where I can get the sorting on top of it, just like our Excel, but I don't know how easy or complex it is for SAP to do that. Though we have option here, we can go. First of all, we can add any kind of messages. Let's say I am only focusing on failed, retry, and under processing message as a support person. So today, let's put ourselves into a support person shoes and start looking at the system from that perspective, or a cancelled message. Let's say I want to just view how many messages got failed, retry, processing, and cancelled. Right? At a status level, I might not be even willing to check what is getting processed. That is at a uh, personal level, I might be checking. In production, nobody's bothered if something is going successful, right? They don't want to check. There can be 1,000 messages going successful. Nobody is monitoring, and we should not focus on successful message. Though there is an option, as I shown, couple of you joined late, so where you can go and filter it out, or you can add whatever columns you want to check that. The moment I'll say completed, it will bring me the completed messages as well, and the latest version of it. What version of this particularly we are monitoring. Now, why the version is important? So now let's say you are into the production environment, you are monitoring. Let's say you are monitoring this data store 1, and the version is 1.0.3, and the message is failed. Now, if you have to now fix that error, so first thing, when you come back to development system or test system, test sub account, first thing you have to check on this in particular version. The version should match between the production system and the development system, or the test system where you are going to do that retest of it. Because if this is not matching, then let's say you are working on data store, somebody after moving to the production, they started doing some additional build on top of it, then you're not comparing apple to apple. First you have to, let's say even you created 1.0.3 for sorry 1.0.4 for this version in the development. I hope you are clear with the version management, right? So then you should bring it to the same level to figure out, okay, the error is happening in 1.0.3 version, not in the latest development that you might have started after that 1.0.4. So you have to bring it to the same level to troubleshoot that error. It is okay, then you can revert it to the latest development that you were doing. That is, we know how to do it. I can show it to you one more time in the metadata at the message level. You can, in the design, right, you can go and manage the particular version of a iFlow. Let's say if we go into this one, right, so it is showing all the versions of a particular iFlow. Okay, even if I take the same example, for example, data store. Okay, it is a different one, 1.2.1, right? If I click on it, it will tell me that, okay, for this one, there are two versions. One is the initial version that got created, and this is the active version. Now, if in production I found a bug in 1.0.3 or 1.0.0, then I can always revert this to the previous version to troubleshoot the error. So that is why the version is very important to be there in the version is very important to be available in the monitoring section, so that you are aware that, okay, what version of a particular iFlow is getting failed. So this is about sorting on a particular, okay, this is about including whatever you want to have it or not have it. Now, the sorting option is available here, though it might have been good if it is there on the top of it, but still you can sort it on a particular, let's say, normally if you ask me as a support person, I'll focus on the failed message, which one is failing the most. So my sorting is on the failed message, so that I know which is the particular integration that is failing the most. So we should focus on that particular message. So that is how you can go and do the sorting, and you can do the ascending and descending order of it. Okay, failed by, sort by. That is how we can do it. And simply reset is there. If you want to do it, it will do a reset for you on the total messages. Now, that is one option of sorting it out, adding a different view, or you can simply search by the particular iFlow. Let's say I'm looking for a groovy option, that, okay, I did a groovy, whether it is working fine or not, because this list can be huge. Here we are checking for past 1 week. Let's say somebody is monitoring 1 month, or we get into a scenario where, right, somebody comes to you that, okay, this was a, let's say some scenarios are monthly basis, right? You are doing a monthly reconciliation, or you are running a payment salaries on a monthly basis. Somebody comes to you that, okay, can you check a message from last month for this particular salary, that whether it is processed, not processed and all. Then if you go and come here, right, it is difficult to, either you are having the dump in Excel, or you have to go and check. So simply search on this one, and then you can figure it out, okay, and you can find out that, okay, this was the one message that got failed for a particular iFlow, and I have to get into the details of it. So that is one option. So here you have the filters, what time you want to monitor. It depends upon the support that you are doing, right? If you are doing a daily basis reporting, you can simply check the past 24 hours, and you want to have the overview by what. Now, most of us are having working on integration flows, but if you want to monitor it by, let's say, a particular system, then you can monitor it by. sender system. Now, if you are doing a good documentation, then now you understand one thing, right? We keep on asking or reiterating that whatever you are using, you can add the name of the system. Whenever you create a sender, add the name of the system. So that is where it is going to help. If you have given a sender name for that sender palette object, this is going to help you in the longer run, right? How many messages got failed for S4? Let's say you are having 10 system in your environment, in your ecosystem you are focusing on. So one reset example, let's say we were having a third party logistic system, 3PL system that we call it out, and that is managing the deliveries. So now that logistics partner is the critical message. First of all, for critical messages, we will be having the alerts. But if somebody is monitoring on the system, let's say there are 1,000 deliveries coming for a big transportation or some big manufacturing company in an hour in multiple plants. So for them, if delivery is waiting on the gate, it is a time lost for them, business lost for them. Anything they want to have, they want that delivery should not be waiting on the gate because of a certain errors. Then we can simply check, okay, this is overview by sender rather than mugging up on those high flow names. This is a 3PL delivery, and now 3PL can be many, right? There can be one logistic partner, there can be more than one, right? So we can simply have on the logistics name and then we can check it out. So it is just about how you want to view it. And one simple option is hiding these filters. Once you are done with it, you just keep on refreshing on a daily basis so that you get a more better view of it. Nothing more than that from this. With that,